Okay, let's hope you're okay with my voice. I just tried to record this entire episode that I'm about to do right now, but then I realized after recording it that I had actually no sound on. So my voice actually might be a little bit raspy by the end of this, but I hope you forgive me. I just wanted to do like a little bit of like my takes, like after watching these games and just seeing how these teams play out, like what am I seeing, and just put it out in the world. You know, you can rip on it if you want. If you can hate me, if you're a fan of one of these teams and you're just like, dude, Jack, you suck at your takes. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. I just want to go like, game for game on the game weeks here of what we saw. And also I understand that it's also late, by the way. We're like not less than 24 hours away from week 2, but I wanted to sit on it. And also I typed up my thoughts game by game, team by team, really tried to like put it together mentally and then just like talk about it. So, and also there's like a lot of garbage takes out there, like just like a lot of like click farming. Do you know what I mean? Like just like people are like, oh, I think, Fulham are going to be like, 6th. Like, okay. Maybe, maybe, sorry, Fulham. I didn't mean to pick on you guys, but like, but you know what I mean? Or saying like Palace is going to be top 5. I'm like, stop, or like, I saw one the other day, like, what was it? Like Sturridge was as good as Salah or something. I don't know. I was like, oh my God, I can't watch these clowns out here. The clowns, like you guys are click farming. Like we all know it. It's like you guys are just saying like the stupid thing so like people could react to it. This is me trying to be reasonable and rational. That's all this is. Okay. I think truth is stranger than fiction. I don't think you have to make shit up to be interesting. But anyways, let's go. Let's go in here. Sorry for my voice again. Okay, so we got opening game. This was last Friday. 4-2 Liverpool. Okay, let me pull up my notes. I had them open and then realized that I totally screwed up, and now I have to redo everything. So let me go back. I'm not even like prepared for this, obviously. So anyways, Liverpool. Okay, Liverpool. I'm giving everybody letter grades, by the way. Liverpool, I'm giving you an A-. 1, mental fortitude. You guys let the lead slip. You got in late. It was 76 minutes, right? You let it slip late, and then you got back into the game 1-4-2. So that's solid that you were able to like come back from the mistake and then actually win the game. Hugo Ekitike, solid player, physical, willing to run, hungry. He's hustling. He looks great. Good pickup, like genuinely good pickup. Also, your midfield 3 look like they're going to be lethal as they gel, right? Florian Wirtz looked like he was picking the ball up in really good situations to be able to, progress the attack or maintain possession. But his pass progressions, like it looked like he wasn't sure where players were going to be yet. And that's understandable. He's in a brand new side. He's, it just is what it is. It's what's going to happen. But, and I think that he's a fantastic player. So he looks like he still has to grow into the team a little bit, but you got a really, really good midfield 3. So feel good about that. That's very, very important for the title. Now, a little bit of criticism here. Want to just say that Arne Slot talked about this before the game. You guys are leaking goals, and I don't know really where that's coming from. Salah said at the PFAs that you guys got a lot of young players and that you guys don't have, it's just, the youth and experience where it comes in, Kirkes, Frimpong, Wirtz, Ekitike, these guys, I don't even think anybody came on otherwise, but yeah, you guys are just like leaking goals. So, I would, if you want to go for the title, I would not try and just get into a shootout with every team. Try to avoid those if you can. And also Wataru Endo on the wing looked lost, if I'm honest. I know they're giving him a 7.3, but it's because of the assist, but he got beat out on one of those goals. He was out of position. So, yeah, that's that. Bournemouth, I'm giving you a C plus. Honestly, I think that you guys. First off, Antoine Semenyo, I think flat out, like as a person, as a player, fantastic. Dealt with a racist incident early on, right? Went through the proper channels. His body language was down too. You could feel that it definitely affected him. And then the fact is, like, I mean, he came back, brought the game back from 2-0 down to 2-2. Fantastic. Like, I'm glad that you guys got him. Like, he is the face of the team. Like, he's awesome. He's an awesome player and a great person. Like, his ability to deal with issues, frankly, just a fantastic human. Anyways, as a team, and getting off Semenyo here, as a team, you guys lost Dean Howson, Zabarny, Watara, Kirkiz. These are like all big losses, and you guys didn't even look like you really lost them. You know, you still looked like you were able to deal and actually play like a team that you kind of were last year. And I think that that's like fantastic that you're able to find like these kind of plugins to deal with massive losses. And I mean, I don't think you're going to be as good as you were last year in ninth, because you definitely deserve ninth, but you're not going to be there now. But also, Diakite looks like a good player. I liked him. He was not responsible for any goal. Didn't make a mistake. Good positioning. Closed down players. Like, you know, the issues that you're going to run into are the fact that, like, one, I mean, look, you're going to concede some goals. You've lost predominantly defensive players, so you're going to concede goals, and you're probably going to concede some bad and ugly goals as well somewhere down the line. First one that came to my mind, by the way, like just like bad goals, but again, like the game is over. Like once you got the 3-2, it kind of felt like Liverpool was going to finish the job. But again, it is still 3-2. It's not like you're out of the game. But James Hill didn't run onto the ball and let Salah come run all the way across the length of the field and then take the ball off him and then score the fourth one. So it's like you're going to concede some bad goals every once in a while, but ultimately, this was a spirited loss, like promising loss. Makes me feel a lot better about you guys after having lost literally 4 big players. So that's that. Let's go to Aston Villa and Newcastle. Okay. So this game, you guys were basically the same team, playing the same team. Aston Villa, I'm going to give you a C-. You guys, both teams actually, you guys knew exactly what this game meant. This was immediately bragging rights to see who was going to get that 5th spot in the Champions League, because you guys are on that level. You guys tied at 66 points. Newcastle got the edge and won on good goal differential. Now, Aston Villa, I got to be honest, you're at home for that advantage, and you didn't when you had 11 players, you were not like, you were the second best team. Not by like a large margin, but you were the second best team. But then the red card, like you guys got a red card, right? It's a soft foul. I'll give it to you. But again, like, it's not like you were doing fantastically with him. But yeah, you just like, I feel like you just really left an opportunity on the table by like really like just, you guys were just not as good as I hoped you would. And like Bizot played well. I could say that your goalkeeper, the new goalkeeper looks great. But like what I can really say is like what this made me think about was the league table last year. This game was like a great encapsulation of it. You guys tied the game. Newcastle got 5th, you got 6th, and got the Champions League, and you didn't. And the reason why is because of goal differential. Or in this case, like Newcastle were a better team, and you got a red card. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, you still drew on points, but like one team looked better than the other team. Now, Aston Villa, I'm giving you a C-, right? because also I want to, like, after all that harshness, I do want to say that you guys got the red card. It was a soft one. But you guys you bent, but you didn't break. You stayed in the game. Like, I am a little concerned about the fact that you only made one sub in the game, and it was late. But I also, like, that's a testament to the players who remained on the field for the entire game, and John McGinn, to be fair too. I mean, but yeah, that's I mean, defensively, chef's kiss, like, amazing. So I don't want to be like overly harsh. That's why I gave you a C-. Like, it's not. I don't want to be overly harsh. Like, it's just like, nah, you could have done more, but like, you kind of shot yourself in the foot a little bit. Anyways, Newcastle. Feels like the other side of the same coin. This felt like it was like an early race for the Champions League. You guys were the better team. If you drew and there was no red card, I probably would have given you like a C+, maybe even a B-. I don't know, depending. It kind of depended on how you play, honestly. But and Anthony Elanga looks great. Malik Tiaw looks like a good pickup as well. He didn't play, but I just know that you got him, so like that'll be helpful when it comes to the Europe issue. Europe, like, dual competitions. You picked Jacob Ramsey as well, so it's like you guys got a lot going on. But the reason why I gave you a C in this is because, like, they had a red card. You should have put this game away, and that would have been like the actual, like, that's what you should have done. You were the better team, 11v11, and then when it came to 11v10, still the better team, but you can't put the ball back into that. So I'm like, this is a problem. So C. I can't like give you too much credit here. Also the Isak situation, that's just off the field. That's not pertaining to this game. You know, kill that, figure it out, kill it. You don't want it to poison the locker room. You got a really good thing here, and you don't want to start regressing because the culture sucks. You know, figure it out with Wisa or figure it out with Strand Larson. Like, you got to resolve this and get it like off the table. But that's it. That's all I got to say. Let's go to Brighton and Fulham. I got to drink the water in between. Oh my God. Okay. 1-1 here. This game, Brighton, you got a B-. You should have won the game. You're a little bit better. You were at home. And I honestly, I do feel for you a little bit because your injury list is significant with these guys. Hinchelwood, Lamptey, and Adam Webster. If you guys had like those three guys, you know, you might not have used all of them, but I think that like they have a level of quality where if they were able to come off the bench and actually play, like, it feels like you might have gotten the second goal or not have conceded the one goal, right? You feel like you would have won. But so I do want to just say that. But also, O'Reilly looks like just so good. He looks so good. Baliba looks also so good. Minte looks fantastic. The Kuiper looks good too. I mean, he wasn't like a fantastic performance from him, but he looks like a solid player. Chelsea's going to be around with their pocketbook again next summer, trying to buy you guys. And yeah, your front office is just plug and play with these guys. Like, they're already searching players who are like, you know, looking that they might get plucked, and they're like, oh yeah, we already got a guy. Boom. And then they fit in seamlessly. And it's like it's almost like the player never left. It's crazy, the front office, how good they are. And you guys feel like the Southamptons of the 2010s, you know, is the same thing. But Liverpool was picking off all of the Southampton guys, you know, was it Lambert, Lallana? I mean, it was like everybody. So anyways, but honestly, Brighton, like, you're good. You know, obviously it sucks like tying late, but you know, because it's like the thief of joy. You really should have won, but whatever. Fulham, I'm giving you a B. You showed resiliency, spirit, defense, like, fantastic. I mean, look, you were the second best team, but like, didn't deter you, you just stuck in there, and you're a team that's hard to beat. And that was clear from this game. You lost some depth pieces of Vinicius, Kearney, and Willian, but who cares? Looks like you got Joshua King, 18 years old, starting for you. Little rough around the edges, if I'm honest, but a good good prospect. I mean, he's 18. He's just getting his legs underneath him in the league. But yeah, you definitely do look like because there's definitely I give room for the home field advantage, but you guys definitely look like a notch below Brighton, like as a team. Brighton looks like a more talented team, but like not too far, but they do look like a notch above you guys. But solid point. You guys really like earned the point, and it's not a smash and grab, by the way. I don't want to say like you were like not in the game whatsoever. You know, it's just that you like the second half, you guys actually like stunk. Like you guys were not good, and that's when you got the goal, obviously late. But yeah, you just were like, it's not like you were like literally non-existent and getting like smashed as a team. You guys were just clearly the second best team, but you got a point, so duly earned. Hats off, nice. Let's go to Sunderland and West Ham here. Okay, this is probably my favorite game. Sorry, West Ham fans, this is probably my favorite game of the weekend. Okay, Sunderland, you get an A+. This is an example of what a promoted team should be. This is how the fans should be. This is how the team should be. The atmosphere was electric. It was coming out of the television. I felt there was like 12. I felt like there was 12 people on there. You know, the fans made that a boiling cauldron the whole time. It was hostile. It was awesome to watch. That is like a real like the team was riled up, feeding off the crowd. It was awesome to watch. It was genuinely awesome to watch from the Sunderland perspective, right? That's what we're talking about right now. You guys look like you have really solid pieces as well. Adingra, Xhaka, Ballard, Mayenda. I really like. You also got nice pickups. Alderete, Enzo Lefebvre, and even Wilson Isidore. Like this is like, you guys look good. Like you guys look like a solid side, and yeah, just keep making Stadium Delight like that every single home game. The fans, if they make it like gladiators doing a battle, like every single time, you're gonna win games, you're gonna draw games, and you're gonna scrape those points out, and then you give yourself a chance, like actually, and that's what this whole thing's about. This was, yeah, your performance is my favorite one of the weekend, and you created a party atmosphere. It was just awesome. Now, West Ham, this was the worst performance of the weekend, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. This was the worst performance of the weekend. It cannot continue like this. You guys have no soul. Right now, West Ham feels like that toxic workplace where like middle management is like just can't get out of their own way, and they're constantly just like backstabbing and undermining the work that's done, and it's like there's no progression. You know, Malik Doof feels like the wide-eyed, like bushy-tailed newbie that's like trying to like, you know, oh, I'll do that, no problem, I'll get it all done, no problem, and like just eager and excited, but like doesn't realize the dynamics inside the house, like inside the organization, are actually really toxic and is terrible, and he will learn eventually once he, you know, comes up against it. And then he's like, and then you'll realize that it, you know, everything's defeated. Everybody else feels defeated. Jared Bowen is like, for some way, he's like the only person that I have any faith in ever at all. He's the only one that's able to run, like score, do anything. Like I can't believe you're like literally like you're running off one guy, like one. And Malik Doof, by the way, looks like a solid player. Runs hard, attacking, like solid player. Man, yeah, you guys feel like a team also that's like all these players, it feels like you guys are like squeezing the last 18 to 24 months out of their legs before they're like done with their careers. You know, they've all like done something at a different team. They had their best years there, and they're like, all right, I got one last ride of me for the Premier League. I got about another 18 months, 2 years out of my legs and before they give out. Let me go to West Ham. That's what this feels like. I'm like, and some of these guys are not like that old. I'm not trying to say they are, but like it's just the feeling of it. It's like some of these guys are getting aged and they're like still in their 20s. Yeah, you guys are like, yeah, F. That's it. F. That's all I got. Let's go to Tottenham and Burnley. Okay. Tottenham, you get an A. You get an A. You guys got a new feel. Honestly, just the way you guys are being able to pass the ball around and hold it down. Thomas Frank has already had an impact, already built an identity. Like you can already see like the imprints, of their passing play come together. And it feels definitely different than the high risk, high reward like play that Postecoglou had from the year prior. Richarlison has a new lease on life. He looks like he's building a nice partnership with Kudus as well. Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall look great in the midfield with Pap Sarr too. So it's like you got like a real young streak right in the middle there. They're gonna get outclassed and beat on like some of the big teams, right? You guys are gonna get dominated there, but there's a lot of growth here, and it's positive growth too. Bergvall looked great in this game specifically, and defensively you looked more solid. So, and also Van de Ven's still like a physical specimen. He's still so fast. I like this team. I like how you guys look right now, honestly. So, it was probably the most complete performance because Burnley, you get a D, and I don't even think you guys were really in the game. I don't really think you guys were in the game. I'm giving you guys a D. It could be worse. But I want to just give some caveats. I think the caveats is because of the expectations that you guys have right now. That we have that is for you right now. This season is going to be extremely difficult for you. You guys look like a newly promoted side, and you look like the big lights of the Premier League kind of scared you a little bit. And that's why I'm giving you a D, because I think there's a lot of media talk about how you guys were not good enough at the Premier League coming into this, and that you were very likely to go back down and probably the most likely to. And that's what you looked like. So you kind of met expectations. And I think that was the reason why I'm giving you a D. You probably deserve maybe like an F or D- or something like that, right? Because if you think about just like more of a absolute or like way of how this game went, like you guys were kind of just manhandled and then kind of put to the side. But because like most of your shots were outside of the net or outside the box, so you didn't really threaten them. You had like two like half chances. That's kind of all you really had with Ugochukwu and Foster, or it was Jaden Anthony. But that was it. And it's just kind of unsurprising. Like, you guys are touted for your defensive capabilities last year. Who cares? It's the Premier League. You're good. Like you're coming up against world-class players now. It's like, you're going to play this league is completely stratified, right? You're like, there's no way that your like outstanding defense is going to be able to handle Mo Salah. Like, it's like, or like, Man City's like swarm. Like, it's just like, it doesn't matter. You got to scrape and be organized and fight literally like life depends on it. And every single week, if you're not willing to do that, every single blade of grass be covered and scraped, you're out of the league. Done. It's like, you have to fight for dear life. And, that's where it comes down to. And Tottenham looked like they were like 3 levels above you. And by the way, the levels, these are my levels. This is how I think about like the league, right? Title winning sides, right? That's Liverpool and City, right? Title challenging sides, Arsenal, for sure right now. And you could probably put Chelsea there too. The Champions League qualifier is probably is Chelsea where they are now, but they're aspiring to be a Champions League qualifier. Like they have the ability to level up to the next level, right? That's kind of, or they're a Champions League qualifier right now, being like kind of more historically the top 2. I know because they reformed the Champions League. Now it's top 5, but Chelsea is now currently a top 4 team, right? They want to be a title challenging side. So they're looking to level up to that level because of the Club World Cup and all this other stuff, right? Now, Champions League hopeful, I think, is like where you see Aston Villa and Newcastle at the moment, right? Because they're trying to get into the Champions League. Newcastle did last year, but they want to become the qualifier, which means that they're more regularly in the Champions League. So if Newcastle can get it again, it depends about whether or not they're actually a hopeful or a qualifier, because it depends on that gap between the rest of them, right? Now, going to Europe is the next level below hopeful, right? I would say those are like the Forests. I think Forest is a really, really good. Who else going to Europe? Probably Brighton as well. I think Forest and Brighton. I think they're probably the two teams that I would think of as like going to Europe. The next one is top half. I'd put Fulham there. Probably Crystal Palace as well. Like just as like a sense of who those guys are. Mid-table, Everton. I think the first thing that comes to mind is like Everton. Bournemouth. Bournemouth could be top half too. They're probably mid-table, top half. They lost a lot of players, so they're probably more likely mid-table now. Okay. Next one, possible relegation, right? This is Burnley's ceiling, in my opinion, based on what I saw. Possible relegation. That's Wolves, West Ham, Leeds, Sunderland. Like that's those four. Possible relegation, right? You wouldn't be surprised if they get relegated. You wouldn't be surprised if they're in a dogfight for relegation, the whole time. And then the last one is not at this level. Like you're just not at the level. And that's just is what it is. And I feel like Burnley, at least based on this appearance here, is not at this level. So worrying sides, but that's how I think about it. So, oh my God. Title winning side, title challenging side, Champions League qualifier, like a regular qualifier, Champions League hopeful, going to Europe, top half, mid-table, possible relegation, and not at this level, right? Those are my 9 like levels to the Premier League. Yeah. So anyways, okay, so we're kind of, but yeah, that's that. Wolves and Man City. Okay. So my Wolves, I'm giving my team a D-. 4-0 loss at home, D-. We feel like right now, like we're on track. If we're not there yet, we're on the way there. Sunderland, like 9 years ago. Like I think Sunderland was like maybe a season more than where we are now, but like we feel like we're just like that chronic relegation threatened cyclical side. We've been through this all the time. We had Bruno Lage out when he was like doing terribly. We brought Lopetegui in. He saved us. Lopetegui left out right at the beginning of the season. O'Neill did half decent. We wanted to build on it, but then everything blew up. And he was bottom. Pereira pulled a miraculous, like winning streak, and then we saved us. Now we're like, because of all of like the stars from there left, and now we're like, are we gonna get relegated this year? It's just this team like the boardroom stinks, and you can smell it. It's just like there's not a lot of activity, and we feel relegation threatened again. What I can say though is that it definitely looks like everybody still fights and believes and just thinks that they won't get relegated and they will be able to like outdo this. Strand Larson, Munetzi, Aguado, Bellegarde, Joao Gomez, Rodrigo Gomez off the bench, and Andre. Hustlers. Matt Doherty as well with the experience as well. These guys are hustlers. Like they just hustle. So we have like just workhorses, which is great. First 30 minutes, we looked exceptional. We were able to just trap and intercept and tackle anything that Man City came to us, spring the counter, create opportunities and like legitimate chances. Munetzi offsides all day long throughout that game, which really killed it. Negatives. yeah, it's just like the chronic cyclical relegation side. Like this whole game kind of reaffirms the feeling that like, okay, brace yourselves. This is going to be a long year. And that's that. Man City, this is an A+. You guys found a De Bruyne replacement that's basically a plug and play to Johnny Reinders. Just a little side note, as a Wolves fan, every time Wolves Man City played, we all knew that it was going to be De Bruyne who was going to score or assist or make all the plays, whatever it was, and he was going to get like man of the match and like dominate, right? It's Johnny Reinders, same thing. So just saying. The additions also, Cherky looks great too. Or Cherky. Yeah, you got a little bit of a swagger back, and Man City looked like they're back. So yeah, Blue Moon is around the corner. It feels like, it feels like you guys aren't going to be like last season. But I will note something about last season and this season, right? So when you guys were trying to break us down and you were trying to, pass out the low block, you couldn't do it. And that was the first 30 minutes. You couldn't do it. And we would, intercept, tackle, and trap you guys and spring the offense. And you guys got caught out all the time last year, like trying to do that. And then you guys were eventually you hit third place, and because you get caught on the counter, and that's just what it is. What it is. Now, what I will say is that like the first 3 goals that you guys scored, the Cherokee goal was like a garbage goal because the game was over already, and that was just like a lack of effort on the Wolves defense. Everybody's just switched off at that point. But the first 3 goals of the game were springing offensive transition like into like more of a counterattack. Tijani Reinders picking up the ball, dribbling at pace, he dribbled it down at one time, winning it, shooting and scoring. Another one was dribbling it down, beating a couple guys, flicking it above for Oscar Bob. It's like the offensive like counterattack. That was something that I noticed for all 3 goals. You guys did not like pass out the low block, right? Can't say you can't do it. I'm just saying you didn't do it against Wolves. And that is the gear that Pep usually relies on in these tight games when like teams just sit back and they just say, nah, you try and beat us. We're going to put, 11 players behind the ball, see if we can do it. And that's just something that I noticed. Anyways, let's move on to Chelsea and Crystal Palace here. Okay. Okay. So Chelsea, I'm going to give you a C. I got to be honest. I really like your team. You had a really young team, explosive, flair, confidence, technical, tactical. It's going to be exciting. Like you guys are going to have exciting games, right? The big issue here is that you're going to have to deal with expectations. You're going to deal with pressure. You're going to have to deal with the fact that like the fans are going to need something from you, right? Last year you proved that you're good, and then the Club World Cup you actually proved you're really good. So now you got expectations to win, and like I talked about with Man City, like Crystal Palace decided they didn't want to play against you, and that they're going to sit back and play defense, and then they're going to try and take their chance when they can get a sucker punch in. Now, you couldn't break that down. You had more chances, you had more possession, but you couldn't break it down. And I think that's important to note because Crystal Palace are exceptional at that game. They did it against Liverpool in the Community Shield. They did it against you, right? And they did it on the road too, again. So there's that to say. But the thing is too, is that like, I think, okay, you won the Club World Cup, right? And a lot of those teams they feel confident and that they can just go to they feel like they can go to any team, no matter who the team is. They can go to any team and they can play their way. they could boss the game and they could win, right? Chelsea are extremely talented. They're extremely fast, technical, everything else. That was like, you guys beat PSG because they decided they wanted to play their way and be expansive, and then they're willing to take chances because they're the best team in the world, right? And that suits you because you're able to now take them, spring a quick counter, come down there, like come after them immediately, and then score goals, take chances. Now, when you're taking on a team that doesn't want to do that, when they don't want to play against you at all, I think you're going to struggle. And this was a clear example of how to play against Chelsea. Don't play against them. That's how, have Chelsea break you down and then play the counter. That's just, hopefully that team has a guy that's fast enough. Mateta is not that guy. So, but yeah, I think that's one thing. But what I will say, Chelsea, you're against the teams that are going to be going toe to toe with you, that are actually going to be playing expansive and try to actually take you down, like a Villa, a Newcastle, Arsenal, Man United, Tottenham, all the other big ones, right? They're going to be the most fun watches because you guys are not going to back down, and you're just going to go toe to toe with every single team that you play against, and you're unafraid. They're going to be must-watch games. Chelsea against any team that's willing to take them on, must-watch games. Must-watch. Lots of goals. Anyways, Crystal Palace, you got a B. You got a great game. Yeah, you killed Liverpool doing the same thing you did here. So you got a nice tried and true strategy against one of the bigger teams and how to grind out a result. I love to see that. And yeah, you guys look like a legitimate side. You look like a top half side. Now, I mean, Marguehi snubbed Glasner at the end. I know that everybody saw that if you're a Palace fan. So the rumors are swirling about him. Also, Eze just left. So there's that. And yeah, I mean, look. Also, the front office, the ownership, you guys with the whole Europe, getting bounced out of Europa League, going to the Conference League, that makes the club look amateur and unorganized and incompetent. And now you have to deal with Eze leaving and possibly Marguehi leaving. And it's a World Cup year. Look, the players want to go make that move. They want to prove themselves that they're going to go to a World Cup because they only get, they have a small, limited career. They got to make the most out of it, and they have to force moves however they can. Cough, cough. Alex Isak. But anyways, yeah, this victory, this feels like it should be a victory, but it also smells like there's going to be some blood in the water, or there's some trouble brewing. But definitely a solid point, really, really good. That's a solid B performance right there. Let's go to Forest and Brentford. Here, Nottingham Forest and Brentford. Okay. B plus from Nottingham Forest. Gotta be honest. Feel good about this. Woods continuing to score. Elanga's replacement, Dan Ndoye, scored. Gibbs White's got a new contract, got an assist. He was very, very good in the game as well. So that gives a lot of reassurance to the fans that smooth, just keeping it going, everything else. So yeah, you guys are just look like a settled team. The only issue is that you're going to have to balance Europe and the Premier League, which is very difficult. A lot of teams get, tripped up here and they can't deal with multiple competitions at the same time. So it is also good to see that you guys are adding Callum Owendo, McAtee, Dan Ndoye, Hutchinson, Jair Cunha, and Igor Jesus. So you guys are filling out the ranks. And yeah, this that's a solid addition for the summer. My one critique here in this game, is that around the time of the penalty here with Thiago, was it Thiago Rodriguez? Okay, is that Brentford had a few chances around that time to get a goal, right? They did with the penalty, but I mean, just generally. And they had a little bit of chances at the end of the first half and like a bulk of chances at the end of the second half. That's just a little concerning because you guys seem to be like switching off and taking your foot off the gas. It seems like you guys want to pick your spots about when you want to play and when you don't. Now, don't let teams back into the game. That wasn't going to happen in this game because you guys blew them out of the water, like in the first half. But yeah, I just mean like, you can let games slip in Europe and in Premier League if you take your foot off the gas a little bit. I mean, we all know that the 2-goal advantage is the most dangerous. So that's that. That's all I got to say. Brentford, this is a D+ for you. That game sucked for you. It sucked. You lost Mbeumo, you lost Norgard, Wisa looks like he's gone. You looked like you just missed all of them. You couldn't win the ball over, right? Because that's what Norgard is going to do. Mbeumo and Wisa partnership totally out the window. So this is concerning from you guys. And you guys were the high flying club. You usually get top half. You punch way above your weight because you were paying people less than who was it? Ipswich last year. So like the collective bill, the wage bill that is. So, that's issue. Kelleher, by the way, fantastic. Looks good. None of those goals are his fault. None of them. So, yeah, just again. Oh, and Coyote looks like a good pickup as well. I love the long throws. I love bringing back long throws as a set piece play. I do want to just say it, just temper the set piece thing, by the way, is because Tony Pulis, right, back at the Stoke Alona days, again, there's Stoke Alona because of the Barcelona connection. And look back at that team, how good those players were. Like, they were no joke. They could play you outside of the set plays, but the set plays were the iconic, like Rory Delap long throws, right? So I'm just saying, like, they had a lot of quality that was not associated with the set plays also. So don't think that you're going to be able to like set play your way out of this. You got to brush it, but you got to brush this off and then like move on because that was a rough loss. You're getting basically like killed at halftime. Yeah, that sucks. All right, next one is Man United and Arsenal. Out of water. Okay, Man United, I'm giving you a B- for this 1-0 loss. Okay, it was always going to be an uphill battle. Arsenal is way further along in their team rebuild than you are, and they have way more of an identity and everything else. I don't want to be overly critical of you guys, even though I want to because you're a historical big power, and as a fan of a smaller team, I just hate all the big teams. That's just how I feel. So, yeah, but you're still in the identity forming period. So you just don't have like, a style of play and everything that you're building together. But, you guys definitely look like you're building a mold. I mean, like Dorgu, Cunha, Mbeumo, Matthijs de Ligt looked pretty good. Bruno Fernandes, Lenny Yoro looked decent as well. You should be feeling good, like feeling positive, even though like you guys are, in this, in the loss here, like you look decent. And the thing is too, is like Old Trafford is historically a bad place for Arsenal to go. They can almost never win. And, you probably should have drew this game. Honestly, you had some legitimate chances to get a goal out of this. And, I would give you a little bit more, but you should feel good. And I think at bare minimum to get a B, you should feel good about the game. And yeah, I think B- is totally fair. I think this is like, look, you didn't get any points out of it, but it was a spirited loss, and I think Bournemouth Bournemouth is kind of the same feel. It's like, it's a spirited loss. Actually, you could feel good about that. I did put Bournemouth down as that, right? C+. Oh yeah, it's because they got 4 past them. But it's because of the 4. Honestly, I think I just was like, but you should feel good about it. Nonetheless, you guys actually look like you're progressing. Now, Arsenal B. I'm giving you a B plus. Your team is stacked, right? I understand that not everybody's like fully fit. Havertz, Gyökeres, Madueke, just not fully fit yet. So you're not like fully in form, right? But glad to see your set piece dominance is back and still relevant. So that's that. Calafiori getting the goal. Zubimendi looks like a solid like pivoting defender to allow Rice to be a little bit more offensive, a little bit more free to play too. So that's great. Also, before this game, Arsenal in all competitions, like you guys won like 2 of the last 13 games. Like you guys never win at Old Trafford. So to win this, even if it's ugly and whatever, I mean, you got 3 points. Take that, take the bragging rights and then leave. Who cares? Like you guys got 3 points. This is going to be a slog at the end of the year. It is like that every year. You guys got second 3 times in a row. So, just how it is. Take it and walk away. This was solid for you. And the fitness thing is gonna come along. But trust the process. Arteta has got a formula here. It's working. You guys are like just bubbling under the surface. You guys are so close. So just keep it going. That's all I'm saying. I like the look of your team. I do. I just, I don't know if last year you would have gotten this win, but you did this year. So I think there's something to that. Actually, I know you didn't because you didn't win here last year. So that's that. Okay. Leeds United, Everton. Now, Leeds, I'm giving you a B plus. The reason why is because look, who cares how you win? There's a certain there's kind of 2 teams here. If you're in the like the title winning, if you're like the title winning side, or if you're in the relegation side, right? Who cares how you get the points? It doesn't matter to you. Like just get the points. Because if you're at the title end, right? You have like the emotional maturity, the determinism, like to just keep the games coming. And then like, who cares how the goals come in? Just get the goals in, right? And win the game. It doesn't matter, right? You need the points. Who cares, right? If you're like Leeds or Sunderland or Wolves or whomever, Burnley, like you do not care about how the points go in because you're a relegation threatened side. And it's all about the points at that side, right? There are only some teams in this league right now who care about how they play the game. I think Man United and Tottenham are like that right now, where talking about how they won the game is probably more important than winning the game at all. And I think I don't even know if there's really, and because like a lot of these teams are like really, really well formed now. They're not, a lot of these teams, like Brentford's like a restart, right? But I would put like Brentford also, like all these, like who cares? Get the points. Who cares how you win it? Get the points. So that's why that's that. The penalty's controversial. Who cares? Get the points. But for how the game went, you guys pressed well. You outworked them. You nullified Everton's ability to get the ball out of their half as well. And Pirot looks like you could bag. He's definitely going to bag some goals. Tanaka is a constant runner. Yonto is fast. Reece James is fast. I like this team. Like you guys just look hungry, and there are aspects of the side that are redeemable for a title or relegation fight. And make Ellen Road a fortress. This is all what it's all about. And again, who cares how you get those points? It doesn't matter. I mean, you got a real underdog story here because I don't think a lot of people are pitting you to go down. but also Daniel Farke. Everyone's like, oh, he's not even a Premier League manager. Like, they're writing you off flat out. I mean, just get the points and they'll shut up. That's all it's all about. Everton, C-. C-. Because ultimately you can't, like, if Leeds beat you fair and square, this is a D, right? But you really were going to draw a 0-0 game and probably be a little bit worse than Leeds. And that would have made me like, maybe a C. You know, I'm just kind of like, that's not great. You got a point, but like, you kind of played like crap. But this one you lost, but you kind of lost in a bullshit fashion, you know, with a really controversial penalty. And, you know, look, if you take the penalty out of the XG, they beat you by half a goal. So it's like, you're kind of at a point, like, the way I feel about this though is like, a win is too harsh to Everton to not have a point, but a draw is too harsh to Leeds for what they did too. So I feel like this game should have been like 2 points to Leeds, 1 point to Everton, and that would have been like actually fair. But yeah, I mean, you literally had 0 shots in the first half. It's like, there are like aspects where I'm just like, dude, what, come on. Like, you guys are a super average side. Like, you might get like 15th, you know, 14th. Like, you're like the quintessential average team. And you could get sucked to a relegation battle, but like, I just see you guys as a mid-table side right now. I just like, that's what I see you guys as. So that's that. C-, because literally, like, that was not inspiring, but you guys did a lot of good defensive work, and you probably shouldn't have lost this game. And if there was no penalty, I believe this just would have been a 0-0 game. And then I would have been talking about how, yeah, I'm like, you guys, it's left to be desired. I mean, Beto stinks, you know, is like, got 1 shot all game. Anyways, that is my reasonable and rational takes for you. It's 52 minutes gone of my life, and your lives too, if you've watched it this far. But I really wanted to just see if I could just get these out and just talk about what I saw and like just how, just see like how the storyline's like. I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm excited to watch more games, honestly, more of the Premier League. But have a good one, and thanks for watching.